Have you ever felt like time just slips away, leaving you wondering where the years went? Maybe you think about how certain moments, filled with failure or regret, have changed your path in life. It's easy to look around and feel like things aren't going the way you planned, like this isn't the story you wanted for yourself. If you've felt this way, you might want to pay attention, because there's something important I want to share with you. You see, while time seems to escape us, there's hope. The idea that our lost years and broken dreams can be restored is powerful. God has a way of taking what we see as wasted and revitalizing it, turning it back into something meaningful. This process may feel mysterious, but it is real. It's worth exploring how those shattered pieces of our lives can be transformed into beauty. Regret often creeps in, casting a shadow over our thoughts. We think we've lost something forever, that opportunities are gone and can never come back. But is that really the entire truth? Perhaps there's more beneath the surface than we can see at first glance. What if those years you believe were wasted were actually just seeds, quietly being planted for future growth? Mistakes, delays, and even painful experiences don't have to be viewed as just losses. They might be part of a larger plan, shaped by a power that transcends the strict measurements of time we rely on. Instead of counting life by minutes and years, consider that there's something much greater happening, a force that takes what we perceive as wasted time and turns it into something valuable. A single moment of breakthrough can change everything, redeeming decades of disappointment. History is filled with examples of incredible triumphs that emerge from profound failures. The most remarkable transformations often happen during the darkest times. There are countless stories of people who faced years of struggle and rejection, only to discover a purpose far grander than they had imagined. Labeling certain years as useless or irredeemable stems from limited perspective. There are moments when doors close, but that doesn't mean new ones won't open. We just may not see the full picture yet. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes the things we think we've lost can come back in unexpected ways. Trust that even in the wait, something beautiful could be taking shape. There are moments in life when we feel held back. It doesn't mean we aren't worthy. Often, it's a sign that we're being prepared for something much bigger. Delays might seem like punishments, yet they often serve as shields for us. Similarly, times of stillness can feel like failures, but they lay the groundwork for something remarkable. Restoration isn't about going back to where we started. Instead, it's about building on what we have left. From the ashes of the past, new possibilities can emerge. Those so-called lost years aren't truly gone. What seems broken can mend. Relationships we thought were beyond repair can be revived, and dreams that felt out of reach can spring back to life. Even the purpose we thought we lost can return, sometimes even stronger and fuller than before. This only happens if we hold on to the belief that time isn't wasted. But then, what do you do when a dream shatters? It can feel like a cruel twist of fate, making you question everything. You put in the effort, sacrificed, and clung to hope, only to see it slip away. The door closes, the opportunity fades, and the vision you had for your life seems to vanish. This is where many people throw in the towel, convincing themselves that the dream is gone or that it was never meant to be. They settle for a life that's less than they hoped for, dragging the weight of disappointment with them. However, this isn't where the story should end. What if the dream you think you lost is simply being reimagined? Perhaps what you see as failure is actually a nudge towards something much greater. We often chase after what feels right at the moment, only to later realize it might have been too small for us. Just because a dream doesn't unfold as we envisioned, doesn't mean we were wrong to believe in it. Instead, it suggests there is more in store for us. What seemed like a final chapter might actually just be the start of something amazing. Every broken dream holds a seed of new beginnings, but that seed won't thrive if we keep focusing on what's been lost, rather than what's still possible. We often hold on to our plans so tightly that we forget to leave space for better opportunities. We think we know what's best for us, assuming that our understanding means we've found the right path. However, we aren't the ones in charge of time or the grand design of our lives. In fact, some of the most incredible stories come from experiences like missed chances, plans that unravel, or dreams that fade away. Consider the artist who faced rejection from every gallery, only to eventually gain recognition that couldn't be ignored. Think about the inventor who encountered countless failures before achieving a breakthrough that changed history. Reflect on the leader who struggled with defeat before finally stepping into a role they were destined for. These individuals didn't let their broken dreams define them. Instead, they transformed their pain, disappointment, and rejection into powerful catalysts for change. The real question isn't whether dreams will shatter, they will. The question is how you respond to those broken pieces. Do you cling to them, mourning what's been lost, or do you let something new emerge from the fragments? In the big picture of life, no experience is ever wasted. The struggles, the closed doors, and the heartache from losing something precious are not meaningless moments. They are the building blocks of your future. These experiences serve as lessons, strengthening you and preparing you for what's to come. They are the fire that refines your character into who you're meant to be. Don't fall for the myth that time spent in disappointment is time lost. Instead of lamenting your past, think about the possibility that something better is on the horizon. Consider viewing those lost years as a time of preparation rather than waste. Trust that every obstacle, every setback, and every door that closes is steering you toward where you're truly meant to go. The most compelling stories are not those where everything unfolds perfectly. They are the ones where redemption plays a key role. These narratives reveal how the broken can be healed and what was lost can be returned in ways we never expected. There will be times when silence envelops you, and in those moments, you might find yourself praying for clarity and direction. Sometimes it feels like you're putting in all the effort, yet nothing happens. The doors you want to open stay closed, answers remain elusive, and life continues to move on around you. You might start to wonder if you've been overlooked completely. In these moments, doubt can creep in, suggesting that maybe you're just standing still while everyone else is racing ahead. Perhaps the dreams and goals you once had are fading away into nothing, but that's not the reality. Even when it seems like nothing is changing, there's always something happening beneath the surface. Beyond what we can see or understand, a process is taking place, sculpting you into who you're meant to be. Life has its visible seasons, times filled with success, progress, and recognition. Then there are the hidden seasons, where you feel like your efforts are in vain and nothing seems to budge. These are the challenging times that test your spirit, yet they're also the ones that truly shape who you are. Consider a seed buried deep in the earth. At first glance, it looks like nothing is going on. No signs of growth, no visible changes. But beneath the soil, an incredible transformation is happening. Roots are developing, foundations are being established, and strength is quietly building where no one can see. When the time is right and all this hidden work is complete, life bursts forth, stronger and more resilient than if it had been forced or rushed. Trusting in what you can't see is a difficult task. It can be hard to believe that silence doesn't equal absence. However, it's often in the quiet moments and the waiting that the most significant changes take place. While it may seem like nothing is working, everything is actually falling into place. And one day, all that was once hidden will come into the light. What felt delayed will eventually arrive in abundance because nothing was denied. It was merely being prepared. Many people struggle in this waiting period. They become impatient and think that if they don't see progress, then none exists. Often, this leads them to step away from what is on the verge of unfolding. But those who choose to hold on, who trust in the unseen, and understand that amazing things are built away from the spotlight, will find that, in the end, nothing they did was wasted. They'll look back and see the value in every moment spent waiting. Keynote 3. When nothing seems to be happening, everything is happening. Everything around you is always in motion, even if it feels like nothing is changing. It's important to remember that it's not just about waiting for things to happen. It's more about surrendering and letting go of the belief that everything must unfold according to your timetable or plan. Holding on to that need for control can weigh you down, leading to feelings of frustration, doubt, and fear. When life doesn't follow the path you expected, that pressure only increases, which can drain your spirit. Surrendering doesn't mean giving up. Instead, it's about freeing yourself from the burden of needing every answer or trying to force outcomes. You start to see that there is a larger force at work, something that goes beyond what we can understand. Letting go allows you to stop futilely striving, ceasing the endless cycle of planning and expectation that might not even be right for you. You might realize that what you thought was rejection or failure was really just protection or a new direction. Things you lost weren't meant for you to hold on to, and what truly belongs to you can never be taken away. This understanding brings freedom, the freedom to trust the journey, even when the path isn't clear. You can release the weight of uncertainty and walk confidently, knowing that every step, whether it feels like progress or not, is part of a bigger plan. Many people struggle with this concept, holding tightly to control and certainty, always seeking immediate answers. But life doesn't bend to those expectations, and resisting this truth can lead to a frustrating cycle where peace feels unattainable. In contrast, those who surrender and learn to trust in what they can't see, who understand that silence doesn't mean abandonment, may find true restoration. They wake up one day to realize that nothing was really lost. Everything was unfolding just as it should. What they perceived as an ending turns out to be a new beginning, leading to a clearer understanding of their journey. Keynote 4: The Strength Found in Surrender. Waiting was never about delay, and surrender was never about defeat. They were simply part of a journey. This journey doesn't always take you where you think you should go. Rather, it leads you to exactly where you need to be. Many people fall prey to a dangerous illusion, believing that their best days are behind them. They think that the happiest moments have passed, leaving only a slow slide into the everyday and mundane. This belief is a cruel trick that steals the present and future from them, trapping them in nostalgia and regret. However, what if the most beautiful and purposeful moments are still ahead? What if the next chapters of life hold more joy and adventure than anything that has already occurred? Too often, individuals feel as though their stories are already written, merely turning pages toward an unavoidable ending. They let their past mistakes define them and let missed chances cloud their lives, allowing disappointments to shape what they expect from their futures. Yet some refuse to accept this false narrative. They believe that despite any losses, there are still countless possibilities ahead. These individuals recognize that the most significant transformations and remarkable redemptions often arise from periods of despair. Take a look at history's most extraordinary figures. Their greatest victories rarely occurred in their youth. Instead, they achieved the unimaginable after facing failures and setbacks when they had every reason to think their opportunities had passed. The world may have told them they were done, and circumstances might have suggested they had nothing left to offer, but they chose to ignore such messages. They moved forward, stepping into experiences beyond their previous understanding. Age doesn't dictate one's potential, and failure doesn't negate purpose. Loss, whether it's of time, relationships, or opportunities, doesn't mean there's no hope left. Often, the most significant awakenings come after suffering loss. It's then that a person shifts their gaze from the past to the future, unburdened by what could have been. The best days are not behind us. Instead, they lie ahead, alive and waiting to be embraced. It's in this realization that the impossible starts to feel possible. There's no specific formula, no ideal timing or perfect conditions that bring this about. It just requires the courage to look forward. Belief is a powerful choice. As long as breath fills our lungs and our hearts continue to beat, there's always more to give, build, and experience. Embracing this truth leads to a surprising life, one that defies expectations. For those who take this leap, restoration becomes more than just a possibility. It's a certainty. When they finally arrive at the moments they once deemed impossible, they can reflect back on their journeys and understand that every struggle, pain, and moment of waiting guided them here. However, merely believing isn't enough. It demands action, a readiness to rise from the ashes and step forward, even when the way seems unclear. Trusting that what was lost doesn't spell the end of the story is crucial. Faith isn't just a quiet hope, it's a powerful force, capable of moving mountains and turning the seemingly impossible into a reality. There's a uniqueness to true faith. It's not about blind optimism or wishful thinking. It's the kind of faith that sees what seems irreparably broken and states, "This isn't the end." It believes that a life once thought wasted can still evolve into something magnificent. This faith doesn't let past events define its limits, but instead holds on to the possibilities that still lie ahead. While some may perceive only destruction and loss, faith looks at the same circumstances and sees potential. A blank canvas awaiting vibrant colors, a story at the cusp of a new chapter, and a life yearning to be restored. What once felt like devastation can transform into something new, proving that broken things need not stay broken, and lost things can be found again. There's incredible power in someone who refuses to give up, someone who won't accept that their best days are behind them. That type of faith propels people beyond their own limitations. It can turn tragedy into testimony, pain into strength, and what seemed like wasted time into a life enriched with purpose, making those years far more valuable than if they had never been lost. For those who choose to believe, there's no telling what lies ahead. Life tends to surprise those who persist. Just when everything appears hopeless, a shift occurs. An opportunity arises, a new path unfolds, or a moment of clarity changes everything. This transformation doesn't erase the past, but redeems it in ways that can lead to extraordinary new beginnings. For those standing at the brink of their own uncertainties, wondering if it's too late or if there's still something more, the answer does not lie in the past. It's all about what choices we make today. Trust that what remains, regardless of what has been lost, is more than enough. You don't need to worry that time has been wasted. It's never truly lost when it's placed in the hands of something greater than you. Instead of moving forward with fear, embrace the unwavering belief that your best days are not behind you, but still ahead. The decision is yours. Will you get caught up in regret, bitterness, and what ifs? Or will you open your heart to the possibility that God can make the impossible happen? If you let Him in, if you surrender and trust, He has the power to take your brokenness, your lost years, and shattered dreams and transform them into something magnificent. You'll find that life can be rich and purposeful, and you'll eventually look back and see how God restores. He always restores. Thank you.